Hello everybody and welcome to the HCW Podcast. This week we are going to be reviewing Friday Night SmackDown, Monday Night Raw, AEW Saturday Night Collision, AEW Wednesday Night Dynamite. Do stay tuned, it's going to be a good one. Roll intro.
HCW Reviews.
Hello everybody and welcome to the show. I am your host Frozzy. Alongside Rate Wrestle, no DP this week. We managed to get rid of him, so that'll be nice for everyone to hear.
Yeah.
But yeah, how are you doing, Rate?
Yeah, I'm doing well. As I said to you prior to this week hasn't been great. I was just reading my notes and I was reading something from the collision the week prior, and I was like, that didn't. Yeah, I made my double notes, but I've got them correctly. But how are you?
Good, mate. Yeah, good. Just tired, working, moving. You know how it is. So I've just given you a little bit of a tour, and before we went.
It looked less of a crack den.
Yeah, no, it does look less like a crack den now. if anyone had seen it last week, you'd have full on thought I was a crackhead. So yeah,
he had a mattress.
I had a mattress in a room and a load of boxes. Yeah, it was great.
Needle.
Yeah, that was all that was missing. But yeah, all good. Getting settled now. So yeah. Back to the grind, back to watching wrestling, so all good. Not that I picked a great week to come back and watch wrestling, to be honest. I know I appeared last week, but I hadn't watched anything, so it was all sort of like. And this week I've watched it, and I'm like, why do I watch wrestling?
Yeah.
But yes, we will crack on and get straight into it if you want to kick us off with SmackDown, right?
Yeah, so SmackDown happened. It's very much that SmackDown, I feel like, because of a certain person we're going to mention in a second, it got rated a lot higher than it would have, because it wasn't a great show except for the start. Yeah. So we had Pat McAfee come down, and he was just talking some jazz about Welcome to SmackDown, etc. like that. He was then interrupted by good old young Austin Theory, who was just then trying to mock Pat McAfee. But what was weird is he lost to Pat McAfee at WrestleMania, didn't he?
Yeah.
So he doesn't really have a shoulder to stand on with that. And then they're on about, like, Pat McAfee was on about disrespecting and stuff like that. And then out of nowhere, if you smell what The Rock is cooking, the biggest pop in SmackDown history in like the last 10 years.
It was
yeah, it took him like 15 minutes to get to the ring because everyone was just going mental for him.
Yep.
And not much really happened with it. It was just a back and forth with Austin Theory, which Austin Theory did very well to keep his own with it.
Yeah.
He told him to share. There was just basically the main gist of it is he got the fans to call Austin Theory an asshole, but he did it very well because he told one side of the room to call him an ass and the other side to call a hole, and then vice versa.
Yeah.
And then it ended with Spinebuster, People's Elbow by The Rock, and then a People's Elbow by Pat McAfee.
Yeah. It was, as soon as McAfee came out, you knew what was going to happen, because if you'd have seen the McAfee show earlier in the day, you knew it was happening. But it's still nice when he comes back.
Yeah. I'm going to keep to the side of any releases that suddenly pop up, because I just want my own reaction when I see them. So we're recording as every man and his dog is being let go by WWE.
Yes, yeah. So, I mean, we'll discuss a few of the ones that we know about in a bit.
As we're going along. So yeah, we'll continue that. So we had AJ Styles versus young Finn Balor. I rated 2.5 stars. Jimmy got involved, and I believe Balor picked up the win. I once again haven't wrote the winner on here because I think I'll remember, and then it's been like a week and I'll forget the whole thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, Balor did win. Yeah, I thought that was the case because Jimmy interrupted him. Backstage, we had The Rock speaking, and then they ply the camera backwards, and then here comes Jonathan Cena. So they have a kind of stare down for a few seconds, but then out of nowhere they hug because, Hollywood.
Yeah, because it was never going to go any other way.
Yeah, there was no need. Jimmy is still kind of trying to get back in the bloodline. The Judgment Day, Balor went up to him and went, "You know what you should do? You should join the Judgment Day, you and Jay Uso." Imagine if that actually would have happened. The Usos in the Judgment Day.
It would have been pretty well.
Paul Heyman overheard this, and he was just like, "Go Roman Reigns." LWO were out in the ring with Santos, and they were talking about the US title. Santos wants to fight Ray for the US Championship. Ray did that kind of like switch thing, going, after all we've done to it, you just want to fight me the title, and it was kind of a respect thing. Then here comes Sergeant Pepper's Lonely Heart Band. Did you see the Street Profits?
Yeah.
Dressed up like the Beatles. That's what it looked like in my eyes.
It was nuts, wasn't it?
Yeah, it wasn't a good fit. And then they challenge, Legado del Fantasma's tag team of LWO challenged them to a match. So they have a match. I rate a 1/4 star because Street Profits won within 30 seconds.
Yep.
Good. And then they attack after the match. Then Lashley kind of gets involved and attacks as well. So it's a bit of a weird thing. You don't know what's happening with Lashley's group yet. They need to be called the Hurt Business. That's what they need to be called.
Yeah, or just something just better. Just
They haven't been called anything, have they? It's just Lashley and Street Profits. Yeah. The big return match of LA Knight versus The Miz. I rated that 3 stars. LA Knight won cleanly, which he did need. LA Knight's flying at the moment. I think it was my match of the night as well. But good win. LA Knight's picking up the wins continuously. Yeah. He gets on the mic afterwards and he says that he wants gold. It doesn't matter if it's Seth Rollins, Gunther, Rey Mysterio, or even Roman Reigns is coming for you.
He had a bit of a, was it? I might be wrong, but he had a bit of a pop at Kevin Nash here, didn't he?
He did, yeah. Kevin Nash said something, I think, on a podcast, and he said, I'd use a noun, but no, it's actually a verb, or the other way around. I can't remember what the statement was.
Yeah, well, it's still going on, so...
Yeah, I don't understand what Kevin... I nearly said Kevin Hart. Kevin Nash's beef is with...
I'd prefer it if it was Kevin Hart. At least it'd be funny.
Yeah, like he's saying that LA Knight's ripping off the Attitude Era, basically saying he's trying to act like Austin The Rock, which I can see in a slight principle, but it's working, so I don't give a shit.
Yeah.
Pretty Deadly are back. Yes, boys. Back, Shave. Obviously, one of them's had an injured shoulder, and he was speaking with Adam Pearce, and we need to get you back and stuff. And then he just said, "Why are you in a wheelchair?" He's got a bad shot in a wheelchair. Damage Control. Waiting for Oscar to show up because it's going to be Bailey versus Oscar because it's EO and Oscar next week. Bailey and Oscar, I wrote 2 3/4. Oscar won. Shotzi got involved with a creepy little look that she's got going on at the moment.
Yeah.
And then we had the Waller effect with Cena. It was just a bit pants. Jimmy came down, interrupted Cena before anything could happen. Solo came down. Then I think Jimmy and Solo were going to attack Cena, and then AJ came down. I can't remember any of this. And then AJ and Cena ended up standing strong at the end. That's all I remember.
Yeah, I don't really remember much about it. It just seemed like too much was going on, and not enough of it was stuff I cared about.
Yeah, it wasn't a great time.
No.
SmackDown.
Yeah, it was just a show. Which
yeah,
is a theme
Rock
of the week.
was the only reason.
Yeah, if it wasn't for The Rock, then you'd be saying below average. So
yeah, exactly.
I mean, and he didn't really do much.
Below average. Yeah,
but yeah, it's the theme of the week. So with that, we'll move on to 3 hours of Monday Night Raw.
Yes. So adrenaline in his soul. Cody Rhodes there. Cody Rhodes about to speak some trash. Dom comes out and starts speaking some trash. Then Cody Rhodes speaks some trash about Dom, saying that Rhea's more interested in Jay. And your family's kind of running free. Then they have a match, and it was a proper squash match. I rated 2 stars. Cody Rhodes absolutely obliterated Donovan Mysterio. Yeah. Don't understand it. No, he's the NXT North American champion. You just got him run through.
Yep.
Well, you've built him for so long and then done that.
Well, I mean, I don't think they know what's going on with NXT with Ali being gone. So,
Yeah, seeing as that he's in a main event, and he Ali supposedly of No Mercy or whatever, and he's just been released.
Yeah, makes no sense.
Yeah. Kasami, Judgment Day went to attack Cody at that point. Kasami came down to even the odds.
Yeah.
Then KO and Cody were in the ring afterwards, and he had a bone to pick with Cody Rhodes because he's brought back Jey Uso, and he says, I ain't going to trust Jey Uso, was the general gist of it. And then Sammy and Kevin kind of fell out slightly about it.
Yeah.
No idea. Oh, the Raiders and the New Day. So they're supposed to be having a 3-on-2. A 2 out of 3 falls match. But Rowan. Was it Rowan?
No,
Ivar?
it was Eric.
Rowe. Yeah, Eric. Yeah, I keep thinking of Rowan and flipping when they were a name previously. Yeah, Eric and Ivar in it.
Yeah.
Eric was injured, so Kofi and Xavier did a rock paper scissors who could fight Ivar, and it was Kofi Kingston. Kofi versus Ivar was my match of the night. We're at it 3.25 stars. Ivar looked incredible, but they also fucked him as well.
Yeah. No.
Kofi kicked out of all of his massive moves.
Yep. It was
all of them. He did a moonsault.
Yeah. It was such a good match as well. And then it's just like, what can he do now?
Yeah, and then Kofi won with just one shot trouble in a barrel loss after getting battered the whole match.
Yeah.
It was still a very good match. It was just they should have let Ivar win if you're going to throw him that far into it.
Definitely.
Good old Ricochet. He thought he was done with Nakamura, but he's clearly not, because Nakamura keeps tackling him, and then he's telling Nakamura, "I'm going to show you why they call me the cheat code." No one's called you the cheat code.
No.
And then Rollins was backstage, and he was just discussing that at that point, and then it led to Shinsuke versus Ricochet, rated 2.5 stars, 2 3/4. Shinsuke won because Nakamura returned the favour and hit him with a chair during the match. Then Rollins came out to rush him, but they had the security come out as quickly as possible, so Nakamura kind of got away with it.
Yeah.
I like this Nakamura.
Yeah, it's weird because he's growing on me, and I thought Nakamura's time had been and gone like 5 years ago. But it's more intriguing now for some reason. I don't know why.
It's because WWE know how to randomly make you care about someone again.
Yeah.
Just out of nowhere. But yeah, so it's Nakamura versus Rollins is still a thing, which is good. Chelsea and Piper were backstage. I love Chelsea Green, as we know. So Chelsea Green was saying her and Piper are best friends. And then Piper, what do you mean best friends? And she went, tell me where I'm from. Where do I come from? And then Chelsea Green's go, like, England, Wales. You're from Florida? Fuck's sake. So then it led to the besties. Besties from Florida versus Shayna and Zoe Starks. Rated 2 1/4 stars. It ended with Nia Jax waylaying everyone because everyone's excited for Nia Jax's return.
No.
Because she's not like most girls.
I thought we got away with it this week.
Nope. Some things happened backstage. I've written here. Braun. Chad Gable. He went to Pierce about getting one more opportunity against Ricochet, and then Bronson Reed went, well, vote me. Which is fair enough because Bronson Reed hasn't appeared in a while.
Yeah.
Jay was backstage with Damien, and he said, you had like a bloodline, you should join a family. He went, you are a family, but then he said, well, family, that's what it is. Family is blood, but we've got something special because we're not related and like we're that close.
Yeah.
Reed versus Gable were rated 2.5 stars. Reed basically squashed Gable, so that's the end of Gable's run.
Yeah.
Goodbye, Gable.
That's the push one.
Yeah, absolutely done. And now we're going to have Bronson versus Gunther, which will be a good match.
Yeah, it should be.
Big meeting then.
I still want to see Gunther versus Ciampa, though.
Oh, no, that will be a good match as well. Talking of Ciampa, Ciampa had one of his weird promos backstage where he's just on a seat. He just said, Gunther, you've got something I want, was the general gist of it. So Gunther's holding Johnny Gargano hostage. That's what I think.
Yes.
That's what he wants. Kasami backstage, they're just talking about Jay and the Judgment Day, and then Jay overhears him and says, you got something to say it in some face, and then KO says, I ain't got nothing to say to you, and we're done, and leaves. The most ridiculous sentiment I've ever heard Becky Lynch come out with. Becky Lynch came to the ring and said that she she's going to make the NXT title, like, bring everyone up a level, make the NXT title proud and so forth like that, and she wants an up-and-comer to come out and fight her. So here comes Natalya. For the rumour mill, it was supposed to be Tegan Nox, just so people are aware, but it's supposed to have been a change, literally, according to like Fightful and stuff. They even had the match planned out and it got changed that late.
Yeah.
Natalya did cut a good promo though, because she literally went, "You're like," Becky went, "I want an up and coming, like, you know, you've had enough opportunities, Natalya," and she went, "You're on about like giving people the chance and opportunity. You went down in NXT and just stomped all over everything they're doing down there by taking the title."
Yeah.
You're like, fair enough, Natalya, you've kind of made a sense there. You know, I'm going to steal this title, basically.
Yeah.
The match was fine. I rated 2.5 stars. Becky won. It was always going to be the case. Dom Dom's going to be fighting Dragon Lee on Raw next week, which will be a banger of a match because Dragon Lee is fantastic.
Yeah.
We had Vinci versus Ciampa. Ciampa won. We're rated 2.5 stars once again. He won with the Sicilian Claw, I think they're calling it. The Sicilian. What's he called? Sicilian. No, that's his nickname. Sicilian Psychopath. It's Sicilian Claw. I'm going with until I remember.
Yeah.
Basically, the Brutalizer from Pac, the Ring of Saturn by Perry Saturn. If you want to go with it any further. Seth did a cool promo backstage where he was basically saying, you know, I'm in pain and it's driving me. Seth Rollins is Shinsuke's driving me mental. Yeah. I just can't understand what's happening. And then we had Drew versus Jay. I rated 3 stars. It was a good match. It wasn't as good as I've obviously Kingston, which is an outrageous statement I've just said there.
I know, it's not.
Yeah. Judgment Day kept trying to cheat for Jay, but eventually Jay attacked the Judgment Day. And then afterwards, Judgment Day started beating down Jay. Drew McIntyre was seen on the entranceway, kind of and ahhing if he's going to come out. He's just about to turn to run down, and out of nowhere you hear Cody Rhodes music, and he comes sprawling out, saving racism while he's doing it. And then he saves the Judgment, even though there's 2 of them, and one of them's been beaten down. But yeah, so that was the end of Raw. It was better than I made out at the start of it. It wasn't great, but like, no, yeah.
But like, I always refer back to the fact that Raw was pants about a year ago.
Yeah, so, there's just highlights in it now. Where you want to go through 3 hours worth of shit to get there.
Yeah, it's pretty wild. But, well, speaking of shit. Collision.
Fucking that's your gimmick now, isn't it? Fair, Collision's not. Since the CM Punk withdrawal, it's not been great.
Neither of the ratings, so.
Yeah, but they weren't a great show anyway, rating-wise. BCCW, goddammit, that's the indie show I review in the UK. And the BCC, Claudio and Yuta, wasn't it? No, Claudio and Danielson fought Big Bill and Starks. I rated it 3.25 stars. It was a good match. It ended with Ricky Starks picking up the win after low blowing Danielson.
Yeah.
The exciting thing we were all looking forward to, the Young Bucks and Hangman are going after the Ring of Honor Championships.
Yes. Just what we always
and no one is safe from Hobbs. No one. Even though he lost his last match against Miro. Miro did a good promo, which I haven't got most of it down. It's obviously, you've sent my hot, flexible wife to get me, God. Was the general gist of it. And the Redeemer needs... I'll just literally read the Redeemer's redeeming.
Nice.
So the first of 400 open challenges, we had FTR versus the Iron Savages. I rated 1 3/4 stars. FTR beat them in 3 minutes flat.
Yep.
Well worth that match, that was. I don't know why they did it.
I don't know.
And then do you know who's challenged? You watched Collision? You did watch Collision, didn't you?
Yeah.
Did you? So you know who's going to challenge them next week?
No.
The Workhorsemen.
Oh, yes, I do remember now.
Yeah. Keith Lee and Shane Taylor are going to have a match at some point. They were talking back to and fro backstage. John Silver versus Bowens, rated 2.5 stars. John Silver picked up the win with a bit of shenanigans with Evil Uno, who was under the ring. Something about Arthur Ashe I wrote here. I don't know what it was.
It'll be in the lead up to Dynamite because that's.
Yeah. I just don't know. It was someone discussing it at that point. I've just realised no one cares clearly. No. OC and Hook are going to tag at some point at Grand Slam, I think it is, because everyone wants to see that. Aussie Open versus PB Smooth and Wes Blakely. Quarter of a star. They won in 46 seconds. And then they basically got on the mic and went, it took you 3 minutes, but and Savages, we beat PB Smooth and Wesley Blake in 40 seconds. Wesley Blake is actually a good wrestler.
Yeah.
Wes Barkley in 46 seconds, so they're challenging them to a match at Wrestle Dream, which is good. What they did was smart because most people wouldn't do it. They said, it doesn't matter if you got the titles or not, because if they challenge to a title match, the workhorsemen are going to lose.
Yeah.
Which they might not. Tony was backstage. Tony Storm had one like a weird apartment interview with RJ Sky. It was just more about the lights in the background, and she went, "This isn't like an interview; it's like an interrogation. Turn down the lights."
Yeah.
And that was generally the interview. We had the returning Scorpio Sky versus Andrade El Elio.
I swear Scorpio Sky returns every 3 months and then disappears.
Yeah, and he also had loads of promo packages about like being a main man on Collision. So obviously in this 2 3/4 star match he lost. Yeah. BCC Gold, Bullet Club Gold, Jay White were on the entrance and they were just discussing that they want to fight. Who does he want to fight? Oh, Scorpio? Was it Scorpio he wants to fight? Or is it Andrade? He wants to fight someone.
I think it's Andrade.
Yeah. Shibata on his phone. He's going to have a match at Wrestle Dream. Hardy Boys versus the Righteous. The Righteous beat the Hardy Boys. Rated 2.5 stars. And they've challenged better than you, baby.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think Christian Cage done some shtick, which I didn't really write down. It was probably about DMs and... he challenged them two to the Grand Slam, didn't he? Luchasaurus and himself versus Sting and Alan at Grand Slam Rampage.
Yeah.
I know all the results of Rampage. Obviously, I'm not going to spoil them, but nothing goes well for anyone.
No.
And then FTR said they're going to step up against Aussie Open. Big Bill and Starks are backstage, and Starks has challenged Danielson to a Texas death match. So that will be very good.
It will, but why?
And then we had the Baker versus Statlander in the main event. All right, at 2 3/4. Statlander won, which was great because I thought they were going to give Baker the title because it was in Pittsburgh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm sort of glad they didn't, but because it would have been the obvious thing to do. It's nice when they don't do the obvious.
Oh yeah, a lot of the ditches with Soraya.
Yeah.
It's especially now they're doing it every year at Wembley. It kind of takes the mistake. If it was like a one-time thing, they'd be like, "Hold on, it might be worth getting the dollar."
Yeah.
Cameron Grimes is staying.
Well, it looks like it, doesn't it?
Yep. Obviously we don't want him to actually get released.
Oh,
but,
no. It's just the prediction.
Frozzy said that. I can't remember what you said by the end of the year. What did you say? Cameron Grimes he's not working there anymore because he's not doing anything.
Yeah. He was like, he'll just get released.
Yeah, but what was the bet? You made a bet, and I don't remember what it was.
I'm sure it was like over the next 12 months. I can't remember which video it was in.
It was the end of the year. Yeah. That's what you said. I just don't know why. I don't remember what the end of the bet was or what you have to do. But,
I can't remember neither.
This was your only chance.
We will find it.
This is where he wins the title. Dynamite?
Yeah. It was... Collision was just not good. I proper switched off then. Liverpool have just scored as well. We will move on to Dynamite.
Yep. Dynamite. Kingston versus Claudio Castagnoli, a winner-takes-all title match for the Ring of Honor World Championship and the Strong Openweight Championship. I rated this 3.25 stars. I did enjoy it. There was a lot of near-fall mumbo-jumbo in the middle, and eventually Eddie Kingston just absolutely obliterated Claudio with a few moves, and he picked up the win. So Eddie Kingston's your new Ring of Honor World Champion. And they finally ended this because they shook hands, which is good.
Yeah, thank God.
It's been going on AEW for at least 2 years.
I predicted Eddie Kingston in this, and I can't stand the bloke, but I didn't see a world where Claudio kept the title anymore.
Well, it had to make sense, because otherwise, like, the rivalry would continue. The whole rivalry is that Eddie can't beat Claudio.
Yeah.
It's like... we then went to a funny funny vignette, which they kind of said was last week, but then they probably shouldn't have, which was Roddy in hospital. The Kingdom are speaking to him, and Adam Cole comes up, and all he goes is Roddy, and then all you hear is Roddy go, Adam! Where are you, Adam? And he goes, open your eyes. His eyes were shut.
It's the Adam shouts that get me. Like,
Adam! Kingdom disappeared, and then Adam says, I've got to go as well. You know, MJF's got a title match. And he's like, NBS title match is next week? Why are you leaving? Christian Cage was backstage, sending just basically doing his usual spear that, you know, we're defending my TNT title, and then he quickly corrects his our TNT title. And then he's challenged Darby Allin to a triple threat next week. So it's him versus Luchasaurus versus Darby Allin, and he goes, you know, if you can beat us in that triple threat match, then you will deserve the title. He needs to win still.
Yeah.
And I think what'll happen is, if he wins, he legitimately won the title, hasn't he?
Well, no, because I think he'll pin Christian. Which means
no, I meant Christian Cage wins.
Oh, yeah, Christian pins. Yeah.
Yeah, because if Christian wins, he's legitimately the TNT champion. Yeah.
Sorry, I thought you wanted Darby to win.
Oh, no, yeah, Darby. I don't want Darby to win it. I don't want Darby anywhere near the TNT title for at least another year.
Yeah.
The man was literally the TNT champion for ages, and yeah, then he died for it.
Yeah.
Jericho versus Sammy Guevara. I rated 2.75 stars. I was finding it fine, but then they botched a bit in the middle, which you haven't seen Dynamite yet, have you?
No.
Basically, it was a bit where Sammy's on the outside of the ropes, Jericho's on the inside, and you know when you do like a jumping enziguri to the guy on the in the inside.
Yeah.
Sammy kind of slipped on the rope, and Jericho was there, and then Jericho. It was just like there was no way near that they hit each other, and Jericho still sold it.
That's.
And then the fans booed, and it was kind of like Jericho's like a veteran. Like surely he would go, you know what? I probably should run at him and get him to hit me again. But nobody sold the Invisible Man kick.
Yeah.
Jericho eventually picked up the win by a cool shooting star code breaker. He caught him in, and then what really annoyed me was. At the start of the match, Excalibur said, "Oh, Sammy Guevara's wearing the tights that the kind of tights that Jericho wore when he fought Shawn Michaels at WrestleMania." Because obviously, Shawn Michaels was one of Chris Jericho's idols, and Sammy Guevara was doing the same thing. And you remember what happened at WrestleMania after that match between Chris Jericho and Shawn Michaels?
Did it something? It didn't.
They hugged, and then something happened.
Well, Jericho turned, didn't he?
Yeah, he kicked Shawn Michaels in the balls.
Yeah.
So, at the end of this match, Jericho and Sammy Guevara hugged.
Yeah.
And then Sammy Guevara kicked him in the balls.
Yeah.
It was so prelude because of the whole fucking tights thing, and it was like, just don't.
So, is Sammy a heel now and Jericho a face? Or...
Yeah.
Right, okay.
I'm excited.
Same.
MJF backstage, while getting into the arena, and then he's talking trash about Samoa Joe, and obviously he says, you know, I've kept that chip on my shoulder of you pushing me, and, you know, I'm going to choke you out tonight, which I thought, well, that's outrageous. It's MJF, so it might happen. And then Adam Cole's got to go see Strong. Oh, and then also, by the way, Don Callis grabbed Sammy Guevara after the match, and they walked off. So I think Sammy Guevara's in the Heenan family. I'm going to call it because it clearly is the Heenan family. And then Sammy Guevara's about to start shit on Daniel Garcia, but Callis goes, "No, his money, get him away from him." So I think he wants to get Daniel Garcia involved as well, but Daniel won't get involved now because he's gone two-face.
Yeah.
And it was he might as well just get fucking Don Callis doing the Jericho Appreciation Society if you're going to take them both. Yeah,
exactly.
Then we had the controversial match of Jon Moxley versus Rey Fenix. I rated it 2 3/4 stars. It was a good match, but Jon Moxley got concussed at the start of the match.
Yeah.
Jon Moxley was supposed to win the match, but he called a audible because he was fecked.
Yeah.
So most referees are told to shoot, count. Don't just stop the count. So Rey Fenix hit his Valley Thunder driver on Jon Moxley, absolutely crucified him with it. 1, 2. Rick Knox just stuck his hand up there, and you can visually see Jon Moxley go, "Fuck you!" to him, just like, "Why haven't you counted the 3?"
Yeah.
Like, he started doing this under Jon Moxley's shoulder. Jon Moxley's shoulders are there, and Jon Moxley, like, fight for select afterwards, so you can physically see him go, "Fuck you!" like to Rick Knox. And then he had to get fucking hit with it again.
Yeah.
And did you see the video the second time?
Yeah. I've seen it.
It literally could have ended like Owen Hart and Stone Cold. It's that finish. It just his head. Oh.
So bad. So bad. So Rick Knox is a terrible referee.
Yeah, the corpse ref.
Yeah.
We might as well go full on Cornette here.
Yeah. Well, it's like literally something needs to be done now because this isn't even the first time that he's been a fucking idiot. Yeah,
just shoot pin.
Yeah.
It's better that you get shat on if you try and you count the 3 and then the guy kicks out and stuff like that. Then it's better you get shat on rather than you go. Because you're not there to look good. It's the wrestlers you're fucking over.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, that was a thing. Samoa Joe, basically he was just a general gist. He's going to go for MJF's title tonight. We had Saraya versus Toni Storm. I rated 2 1/4 stars. It wasn't a good match.
No.
Toni Storm got sprayed by the green mist, and then she got page turned, and then she kicked out still. Saraya kicked out of Toni Storm, Storm 0. And then, do you want to hear a weird finish?
Go on.
The bottom rope, the bottom turnbuckle got removed, the pad.
Right.
Saraya was neck first on there, so obviously it's going to be a grim thing if Saraya's neck gets squashed on there. You knew it was not going to happen.
Yeah.
Toni Storm runs, does the hip attack. Saraya moves out the way, and then how is it ever going to do? Like, how low is the bottom rope?
How weird.
Like, supposedly her back is supposed to be hitting the turnbuckle, the bottom turnbuckle rope. It was never going to happen. No. She had to bounce, and then she had to sit down into it to look like she got hit. And then she went and then she got page turned again, and then she picked up the win. But it was like that was stupid. Do it on the second rope.
Yeah, no, that makes no sense.
Well, at least it's going to hit her back or something like that.
Yeah.
So yeah, Saraya picked up the win. Oh, and I did like a spot in the match. Toni Storm got some shoes from underneath the ring and started hitting Ruby So outside. She had a flip-flop in her back pocket as well. She was about to hit Saraya, and then the ref grabbed that one, so she picked up that one and started hitting her with that. And then we get to the main event of the evening, MJF versus Samoa Joe. I rated 3 stars. It was a lot of stuff going on. MJF's next fact, Samoa Joe could have probably walked the floor with him. Prior to this, actually, I nearly missed this. Did you see the Bret Hart fucking promo?
No.
You haven't seen it?
No.
Oh, I might fucking get you a live reaction of this quickly. This is one of the greatest things fucking AEW have done. It wasn't Bret Hart, by the way, but you see the MJF thing he did before the show, before the match.
With what?
He did a thing. He basically ripped off Bret Hart.
No, he ripped off Steiner last week, didn't he? So.
Yeah, but this one's really cool. I've got it here. Let me send it. How can I do a share? There we go. Copy link. Let me just put it in the Discord. Is that going to affect the cameras for you?
No, because I'll watch it on my phone.
Yeah, I was going to say.
Hold on.
I want you to live reaction that. It's only 34 seconds long.
Nice.
So good.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's so good. Like, and then Excalibur says, "Oh yeah, he's definitely our scumbag," and it was like,
all you needed there was Christian Cage to come out.
Yeah, that would have been perfect, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
Like, you don't have a dad. I discussed this with DP, and I might be wrong here as well. Do you know if someone goes through a table randomly laid around the ring, it's not a disqualification because obviously it's there?
Yeah, I don't think so.
But what happens if you bring out a table? You pull out a table from under the ring and set it up. Surely that if you put someone through it, it's a disqualification.
Yeah, if you physically set it up and then done it, yeah.
Yeah, DP was arguing the fact, and I went, yeah, there's a difference though, DP. It's like literally putting someone through a table that's there, it's fine.
Yeah,
but
like an announce table, you never get DQ'd for that, do you?
Yeah, he always thought it's if you hit them with the if you like just hit them with the table. It's like, no, surely if you're setting up the table, it's a thing. It's like if you hit someone with a chair, it's illegal. But like if you put someone through a chair that's on the thing, it's there. It's already set up.
It's still a foreign object.
Yeah. So anyway, Samoa Joe fucking set up a table and then put him through it. Adam Cole came down. Adam Cole came rushing down because Samoa Joe was about to choke out MJF. He jumped off because they had the stage which is attached to the ring.
Yeah. And
he twisted his ankle. He legit hurt himself.
What an idiot.
And then he still got around. He spurred on MJF while the ref was down. So MJF grabbed his wrist tape and garroted Samoa Joe, and then got him in the Coquina clutch. It made no sense because he had him garroted for like 5 seconds, then got him in the Coquina clutch.
Yeah.
How's that tape affecting you? Like when as soon you're like doing that, you're fucking choking him. When you get him in a chokehold, that tape's non-plus then.
Yeah.
Like, but then he won the match with that. Then they both celebrate. MJF accidentally drops the tape, and he grabs the ref, holds him, and then Adam Cole rushes the ring, puts him in his tights. And then Samoa Joe shows respect, and that's the end of Dynamite. Dynamite!
Yeah, still, like I said, not a great show by the sounds of it, so...
The trouble was, the 3 middle matches, the first match and the last match were really good. The 3 middle matches had botches galore.
Yeah.
Which you don't want on your big show.
No.
You can't help it, but 3 matches.
Show.
He will be on Rampage.
Probably.
No, like long.
You've already seen the result, so...
yes, he wasn't on there.
No, okay. Well, that is the end of this week's wrestling. So, as always, follow us at the HCW Show on Twitter, the HCW Show on Twitch, HCW Show on Instagram, the HCW Show on Facebook, and HCW Show on Threads. We have individual Twitter handles below and over there for rate. And as always, like and subscribe to our YouTube channel. We do appreciate it. Live right now as we speak is Rate's interview with Ho Ho Lun, which was a cracker and a big get for the channel. We were really, really happy to get this. So yeah,
he now follows me on Twitter, by the way.
Yeah, go and check it out.
I'm legit.
It's a very, very good interview. So yeah, and there'll be more upcoming. So keep your eyes.
Yeah, I've got Aaron Williams coming on. By the way, well, that's announced by now. So
yeah. So we've got there we go, another one on its way. And then there's plenty more stuff coming up. DP show, is it Squared? I think it is.
HCW Squared, yeah.
That'll be out on Sunday. Where he'll be reviewing. Is it Rampage and NXT?
That's what he reviews, yeah.
Which is going to be different with all these releases that are going on. Which, I mean, people seem surprised that people get released. And it's like, how did a rich stay rich? Like,
yeah, mate. Like, obviously, it's bad people lose their jobs, but this is how people. That's it, like companies have to do this sometimes.
This is how business works. It doesn't matter how much money you earn. Like, how do you stay rich? So, oh god. Right. Well, on that note, we are going to cut the recording there. So it is goodbye, and we will catch you on the next one.
Adam!